So it was a cool morning here at the Thunderdome as we launch into an incredible Thanksgiving weekend with great ball in store. The Talks at Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer down Cowboys, AP Tone is here, and 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion. Hey, Keish Shipley's here.
Hey, Keish. What's up, boys?
Now we're at the Thanksgiving time of the year, and it feels like we know more about teams now than maybe ever. We know that the offensive line is going to be the determiner on whether or not they're going to be able to win a Super Bowl, and we know that you deliver every single week the top 5 performing lines around the NFL just for that week that just happened. Coming out of week 12, who's the number 5 performer? Whoa!
The Chicago Bears.
They're doing everything right up there in Chicago.
They really are. I love this team, and I love this unit. Obviously, it starts with Darnell Wright, the right tackle. But watch the scheme. Motion Cole Kmet into the backfield because they don't want him one-on-one with T.J. Watt on the line. So create the angle, create the downhill, and now you just cut and make it easy. Look at the double teams finishing in the end zone. That's Chicago Bears football right now.
T.J. Watt got a strip sack for a touchdown. Chicago Bears offensive line gets in there. Is that because that was on Caleb, not on the offensive line?
Did you hear what J.J. said?
What did he say?
He said that he would have liked to have seen Caleb get rid of that ball because he had plenty of time to get rid of that ball.
Should a team rush for 100 yards to be eligible for the list?
No.
Okay.
Don't have to. It's a passing game sometimes.
Okay.
And they pass it. And they pass
that,
protect.
Though. You don't really talk about the passing game much.
Well, because, I mean, we're getting 4 teams a week basically running for 100 yards. It used to be 10.
He took a team off his list because they couldn't pass block this week.
Bingo.
And it made me upset. Let's just put it that way.
I think it's a big deal. You got to be able to do it both. That's
I
why
agree.
you're. That's why you're.
So you want to know the?
But you've never done this before in your life. But I do understand you're saying it's the state of the game.
Well, we have to because that's what the game is today, and that's what it is right now. And I told Foxy this. The way I go about this, every Monday I watch every run, and then I come back on Tuesday, I watch every pass.
Okay.
And so Tuesday morning, I turn on the Detroit Lions. They can't pass block to save their lives right now.
So you had them on Monday.
They were number 1
Jahmyr Gibbs
through the runs.
Mm-hmm.
They were unbelievable.
Rush for how much? 219.
Yep.
Yeah.
219-yard rusher.
Hey,
Yeah.
Q, what is that? How come you can run block and you can't pass block? I know Penei Sewell is incredible in the run game, obviously the pass game too, but as a unit, why can they not pass block but they can run block?
It is 2 completely different worlds, run game and pass game. If you have these monsters and these guys can get hip to hip on the double teams, you can run it. And if you got a good back, they can make you look even better because Gibbs does as good as anybody in the league at setting up blocks for his guys. Lean this way to set up the block, get off on the double team, cut back to the left, and boom, he's gone 70 yards, right? Pass game, they're not doing nearly as much play action as they did a year ago, and obviously you're seeing that uptick happen with Ben Johnson in Chicago, but now Dan Campbell's calling the plays, and they're going drop back pass, and they're just not very good at pass blocking right now.
Okay, so you had to take him out of the top 5. Guy rushes for 219. This offensive line not good enough to crack the top 5 in the entire NFL. Number 5, Chicago Bears. Seems like they're getting it all right.
Yeah, they are.
Congratulations, Chicago Bears, and to Zito. Feels like victory stakes around the corner. And also, Zito, great work on setting all this up, brother. Great work on all of it. Let's go to the number 4 performing offensive line of Week 12 of the NFL season. Kansas City Chiefs, of course.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not of course. First time on this year. I think first time maybe in the last 2 years.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's against Colts.
That's
The
right.
biggest issue with the Chiefs is whenever they don't have an offensive line. Now they have a top 5 performing offensive line out of nowhere because they're playing the Colts. Tell me how.
Well, because they got back to doing what they like to do whenever they win games in the playoffs, and that is run the ball. They ran it 41 times for almost 150 yards in this game. Pass protection was great. Oh, and guess what? Let's get back into this stuff, the creativity. Motion, Kelsey into the backfield, send Mahomes left, fake the sweep right, pull the guard. How good is that?
Face mask.
How good is that?
Bring it back.
I understand that they're treating the Colts like a playoff game because they're the number 1 team in the NFL and they're having their fun and they're doing the entire thing. But to, I guess, kind of echo your point even more, Patrick Mahomes is able to throw it too whenever he needs. They ran it 40-some times. He was able to throw it a bunch of times, and it was all because of the protection. Now they lose Trey Smith. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that hurts them definitely. But I think Josh Simmons, you see him right there, number 71, the left tackle, being back has made them such a better unit with Trey Smith. It's a really good unit. Trey Smith out, Caliendo's got to step up, period.
I love that the motion move is Travis Kelce telling the crowd, let's make some noise here. Let's make some noise here.
That's
Come
right.
on. Yep, you know what's about to happen. Give me the ball, and you know what I'm going to do with it. This is going to be a touchdown. This is kind of what Chiefs football is, though. It's fun. It's a good time, and their speedsters are crossing all over the place, and Patrick Mahomes has time to do his thing. Congrats to Chiefs playing like it's a playoff game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was good stuff. Dallas Cowboys, number 3 this week.
5-5-1. People say they're too deep in a hole to make a playoff run, but is there a chance with how good their offensive line is, I guess?
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the right tackle, Terrence Steele. First of all, their guards are phenomenal. BB's back at center, phenomenal. Terrence Steele got to cut off Jalen Carter. Watch this vet move. Get underneath, pull his hair down. Yep, do all the things. No holding call. And then we get the 20-yard run, rip right up the middle.
Which you're allowed to touch. You're allowed to grab the hair.
Well, you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't get called.
No,
That's
but I'm
part of the
saying-
helmet.
No, you can tackle them by their hair. It's not a horse collar. You're going to tackle.
That's right. That's Jalen Carter, though. That's a fierce 3 technique. He gets underneath him. That's big-time stuff right there.
So they're playing defense and they're good at offensive line all of a sudden?
And look at CeeDee Lamb getting involved. Look at him getting a nice little block that springs it right there. Boom.
does.
Yeah, he
off
locks
his
it up.
Great block.
Yeah. Look at that. It's pretty good stuff.
And also keeping his feet clean. Don't roll up on me, please, God.
Fun fact about the Chiefs and Cowboys, they're both currently the 10 seed in their respected conference. So big one this
And they
week.
both need one. They both need one. All right, who's the number 2 performing offensive line out of Week 12 of the NFL? Welcome back, San Francisco 49ers.
Well,
Welcome back.
certainly a good thing they had the run game going because Purdy was off early. I mean, just a tick off, but he was off. Let's take a look at Trent Williams. It obviously always starts with him. Look at this little underneath move. Make it look real easy. Climb, easy kick out. Use checks the other key. Kick out. I mean, just walk in the end zone. How good is that?
He made that look very easy. 71 is who we're talking about here. He just grabs the guy, turns
Look how
the
fast
guy.
he gets up there.
Yeah,
Look how fast he gets out to him. Like, come on, you have no chance if you're a defender to this.
AJ, you don't want to get in close. He's got him in a hug. He's in his body, and then he can literally just do whatever he wants, and then he just shoves him as if it's a casual day at the park or maybe in a turkey bowl somewhere around America.
That's the best tackle in this era right there.
Really?
AQ, if you're 8 yards, 8 yards deep as a DB or a linebacker, and you see Trent Williams sprinting at you, and you realize the ball's coming right behind him, like, good luck. Like, what are you supposed to do there? Chop him down and try to create a pile and get a penalty, I guess?
Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare. And Foxy, if you can run it back to the beginning, AJ, you know this. You've seen this play a billion times. This is the old school crack toss. You see the receiver on the left right there. That's the crack. You normally pull the tackle. They use his athleticism to run through and get the angle. There's a handful of teams. Miami Dolphins do this, which obviously came from this system, but San Fran has been doing this, and they use Trent Williams' advantage of his speed and athleticism to get up on that backer.
Best tackle of this generation, you said about Trent? You have the number 1 offensive line coming out of Week 12 of the NFL season. Seattle Seahawks, congratulations. Congratulations to the Seahawks. They're just doing it all, aren't they?
They really are. And it starts with play, action, pass. It starts with running the football, and they do all of that extremely well, which only makes them better pass blockers. Let's watch this single combination between the center and the right guard. Bradford and Olu. Olu with Timmy. Boom. Look at that shoulder. Pop him back on the center. Open up the hole. Climb. Look at Cooper Kupp. Body the DB. Jeez, out in the secondary.
Wow.
Let me say one thing, too, about the offensive line. Their job is to get you to the second level. The chunk runs happen when receivers buy in and get the blocks downfield. And you see it between all the good teams in the league. It's Cooper Kupp. It's Jawan Jennings. It's all of the receivers getting downfield. You even saw with CeeDee Lamb. That is what creates the chunks and the explosives in the run game.
The guy up there, number 11, double sticks up there, he's leading the league and everything. He might be the guy. He was down the field blocking right there.
Yeah.
You know, so let alone Cooper Kupp, who was quadruple crown winner in the past in the NFL. You also got the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL running down the field, chasing down a corner or a safety. Now, granted, he's scared to death that he's running a route, so he has to it's much easier. But who cares? He's bought into the entire process. And let's talk about Jackson Smith and Jigba a little bit. You pair an offensive line with Jackson Smith and Jigba. You were saying that with wings wide open. You think this team can flap those wings to a Super Bowl with this combination?
I really do. You just mentioned it. He's leading the league in receiving yards, but let's talk about him as a technical wide receiver, doing all the things right, all the fundamentals. Right here, send him in motion, 3rd and 6. The route is designed to go to Kenneth Walker on the out route. Nope. Got man-to-man coverage on the safety. Safety has no ball skills. Yep, we're throwing it up. Look at the body at the end.
Stacks them.
Stacks them, pushes off a little bit. You can always get away with that. Makes the play. Incredible job by him. Now this one right here. Take the inside release. As he takes the inside release, watch him bend back out to get the safety, then go back over. It's all of the little things. That little bend back out gets him wide open on the over route. And then we got one more here. This one's incredible. If those top of the numbers extended into the end zone, this ball with a single high safety should be thrown 1 yard inside the top of the numbers. Bend back out. Get him out. Yep, open it back up right and come inside.
Yeah. Oh, he's just controlling these guys, basically, and selling everything. It's his 3rd year, right? Is that accurate?
Yes.
3rd year? So he's obviously developed through it all.